Tractate Avos, General Introduction. Tractate Avos is unique among the tractates of the Mishnah in that it does not deal with halachic rulings. Rather, it is a collection of teachings of the Tanaim about midos, character traits, and proper divine service, including many directives as to proper conduct both in matters between man and God and relationships with one's fellow man. This tractate is a practical guide that instructs and inspires a person to perfect his midos and his conduct so that he may fulfill his purpose in creation, namely, to reach spiritual perfection. Tractate Avos is of special value to someone seeking to climb the spiritual ladder, as it can be seen from the opinion of Rava in Bava Kama 30a, who advises one who wishes to reach the level of piety to adhere to the dictates of Tractate Avos. Meiri, in Introduction to Avos, explains that this is because every beneficial trait or characteristic is included in this tractate. Similarly, the Mishnah touches upon many fundamental tenets of faith. See also Magen Avos, Introduction, Rambam, Introduction to Shmona Parakim. Although Avos deals mainly with matters of ethical conduct and proper behavior, it is an integral part of the oral law, and indivisible from the rest of the body of the Mishnah. The teaching and advice issued by the Tanaim in Avos all have their sources in the words of the Torah and the prophets, as well as lessons learned from the mitzvahs of the Torah. This is one of the reasons that the tractate begins by tracing the links of the Torah's transmission from Moshe Rabbeinu to the Tanaim. The Mishnah wishes to emphasize that all of the sayings and teachings found in the tractate are based on the wisdom of the Torah that was received by Moshe from God. The name Avos. Many explanations are given as to why the tractate is named Avos, which literally means fathers. One explanation is that the name Avos refers to all the great sages who formed the chain of Torah transmission from Moshe through Rabbi Yehuda Nasi, who compiled the Mishnah. As the Torah leaders of the nation and the guardians of our tradition, they are our spiritual fathers, Machzor, Vitri, Magen Avos, Rashbam, cited by Midrash Shmuel. Alternatively, the term Avos means primary categories. See Bava Kama 2a. That is, the major principles of human ethical behavior are all found in this tractate. All other moral teachings, whether they are found in Torah or philosophical works, are merely subcategories, which can be derived from the sages' statements recorded in this tractate. Midrash Shmuel. Why Tractate Avos is in Seder Nezikin? Rambam, in his introduction to the Mishnah, found in the beginning of Seder Zerayim, offers two reasons for the placement of Avos in the Mishnaic order of Nezikin, which is devoted primarily to the Torah's civil laws. His first reason is that this was done to uphold the honor of the rabbis of each generation, who preside over the courts. One might question the worthiness of the rabbis of one's generation to issue halachic rulings. Rebbe therefore placed this tractate, which delineates the train of Torah transmission, in the order of Nezikin, to stress that the Torah leaders of each generation form a link in the continuous chain dating back to the giving of the Torah at Sinai. As such, they are worthy of our respect and should not be doubted. The second reason Avos was placed in the same order as Sanhedrin, the tractate dealing with the laws of judges and justice, is that although the moral and ethical teachings of Avos are universally applicable, they are especially critical for judges. Judges who lack compassion and a zeal for fairness can be the cause of infinite harm. Indeed, the very first teaching in Avos is addressed to the judge specifically: be deliberate in judgment. Similarly, many of the teachings in Avos refer explicitly to matters of judgment, while many others, which teach that one must resist temptation and not seek wealth, are important to ensure that a judge is impartial and that he will conduct himself in a manner befitting his position. The custom to study Avos on Shabbos afternoons. The custom of studying a weekly chapter from Avos on Shabbos afternoons began in Geonic times. It is mentioned in the 9th century Siddur Rav Amram as the custom of the great Babylonian academies. In many communities, it was recited only during the weeks from Pesach to Shavuos, during the period of Sfira, as a preparation for the acceptance of the Torah. For this reason, the 6th chapter, a collection of braisos dealing exclusively with Torah study, was attached to the tractate, to be read on the Shabbos immediately preceding Shavuos. In addition, the Sfira period is considered a time of judgment, as evident from the deaths of Rabbi Akiva's many students at this time. One therefore should try to perfect his character and seek to acquire greater fear of heaven as means of protection from divine anger. Midrash Shmuel. The common custom nowadays is to continue the weekly recitation until Rosh Hashanah, so that the long summertime Shabbos afternoons can be filled with shared Torah study. Another reason for the choice of the summer season for this study is that the pleasant weather tends to stimulate man's physical desires. The study of Avos helps rein them in and direct them. See Midrash Shmuel, see further Abud Raham, Tefillas HaPesach, and commentaries. There is no Gemara on Avos, either Bavli or Yerushalmi, nor is there any of the typical collections of Braisos known as Tosefta. However, Tractate Avos is blessed with literally hundreds of commentaries. For this edition, we have generally adopted the commentary of the Rav as the primary one, while also relying heavily on the commentaries of the major Rishonim, Rashi, Rashbam commentary, and Rabbeinu Yonah, which are printed together in the Vilna edition of this tractate. We've also incorporated material from the many other commentaries that appear in the standard edition of Mishnayos, such as Tosfos Yom Tov, Be'urei Hagra, Meleches Shlomo, and Tiferes Yisrael.